everyone, and welcome to another episode of Huskies Greatest Games. I'm Nick Spiliopoulos, and joining me for this episode, Coach Mike Gibbons and former SCSU hockey alum Robbie Jackson. First off, guys, how are we doing tonight?
Robbie, you got to start first. You're the talker. Go ahead, Robbie.
Anytime I get to see your face puts me in a better mood, Gib.
Yeah, same thing. Great. It's wonderful up here in Bemidji.
And
sunny and 70, right?
It is. It's beautiful up here. You know that.
Gibby, you got ahead to my next question. Both of you spent a significant amount of time in the Granite City area, but now both have moved on. So, Coach Gibbons, give us an update on where you're at and what you're up to.
I'm assistant coach at Bemidji State. I took a 7-month vacation, I guess. I had every intent to retire, but Tom Serratori, the head coach here, I remember him as a terrific recruiter. He actually built a great team for St. Cloud, one of their best teams ever, and he's a great recruiter. He did a good job getting me back into the rat race, and I'm having a lot of fun up here. It's a great staff. It's a great team. They're a good team and good kids.
Who's a better recruiter, you or Serratori?
Well, it depends on what year it is, I guess, right? I mean, are we living in 1980 or are we living in No, Tom's a terrific recruiter. Right now, they have Instat video, which is state of the art. You really don't, with COVID, you can't even get out. And Instat, you can literally watch games. You can watch 5 games. You can watch a kid play 5 games in 45 minutes. It's unbelievable. And he's doing a great job. Usually head coaches can't get out. Right now, head coaches can do an awful lot of recruiting. So Bemidji has a great advantage because he is a terrific recruiter.
And Robbie, you're also away from St. Cloud. Give the fans what they want to hear. What are you up to nowadays?
I'm out in Utica, New York, playing for the Comets. It's a shared farm system right now with the St. Louis Blues and the Vancouver Canucks.
Utica, Robbie, that's God's country, isn't it? It's beautiful out there. You can almost see sun once in a while out there, can't you? The sun comes
Everywhere's
up.
God's country, according to you, Gib? St. Cloud's God's country, Bemidji's God's country, Minnesota's God's country.
Utica could use some sunshine. Sorry for interrupting, Robbie. Go ahead.
You guys got a surplus of warm weather in Bemidji, huh?
Yes, you know that. Little pocket in the Midwest, you know that.
Wherever Gibby's at, like on Earth, is the best place to be, just according to him.
It is, though. You know that. Come on.
All right, guys, we're going to throw this one back to 2015. Robbie, I believe this was your freshman year, correct?
Yeah.
So we've got a top 10 matchup between St. Cloud State and the University of Nebraska, Omaha, inside the Herbrooks National Hockey Center. Fellas, how about we just get right into it? Just another reminder that this Huskies Greatest Games is brought to you by Preferred One. And as you look at that lineup, you can see Robbie's right there, his jersey facing the camera. Robbie, you know where the camera's at all times, but you look at that lineup, definitely some big names: Judd Peterson, Jimmy Schultz, Ethan Prow, Charlie Lindgren, of course. What was it like for you as a freshman to come into a locker room like this?
It was intimidating. I'm not going to lie, man. Those guys were all studs. I didn't really know where I fell, not only in the freshman class, but just in the whole lineup. So, I had to thinking about competing for ice time with guys like Newell and Eisman and Benson. And that's just to, crack kind of like the third line, let alone talk about top 6 minutes. Look at a young Gibby there. Wow. Dressed to the nines, as always.
There's a younger boy.
I don't know. Your suit game was never the best, but you're also never the worst behind that bench. At least you never wore a sweater vest.
Yes.
But yeah, it was tough, man. Cauley Coleslaw, like I've said many times, some of the most impressive things I've ever seen with a puck, Cauley did. And friggin' Bennick just knew how to score. Ethan Prow was a Hockey candidate, and just, the list goes on for that team. We had some studs, and it was definitely intimidating coming in, but the upperclassmen did a phenomenal job of making us all feel welcome and part of the team from day one.
And Gibby, you had a hand in bringing Robbie to St. Cloud. What did you see out of him so early, as he clearly established himself as a fan favorite for the Cardinal Black?
Well, the first thing I saw was at a USA Hockey 15 camp where he had 220 points as a Bantam. I'm going, that's a lot of points for anybody, no matter where you're playing. So points originally, when you see that, it catches your attention right away. So my eyes lit up, and this guy's going to be my best friend in a hurry, because he. And then I saw him actually at the camp. Sometimes, honestly, sometimes points do, trick you a little bit, especially at the Bantam level. But I thought he was great at the 15 camp. Might have been the 14 camp too, Robbie. I can't remember. It was, you were young. Did you go to the 14 camp?
It was the 14 camp. That was the year I had a bunch of points. It wasn't actually, yeah, it might have been 200 plus. Yeah.
Yep.
But well, yeah, it was the 14 camp, because you were recruiting me really young. So I'm watching the game here now, man. I just do a body check. That doesn't happen. It's like thinking. Gibby finally put me up with Collie and Russ.
Is that what line you're on right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's funny
because I could have scored two.
Yeah, well, I scored. So I was scratched the first game in Alaska that year, and the next game I was with Collie and Russ, and I had 2 goals, and you rewarded me by taking me off their line.
So I rewarded you. Was that my decision, you think?
Who was the forwards coach that year?
Yeah, we were, yeah.
And then this game I scored 2 and get rewarded by being taken off their line the next night. Yeah, I remember these things, Gib. I remember these things, man.
I can tell you, changing the subject here, Jimmy Schultz and
I'd
Ethan
change it too if I were you.
Ethan Prow and Jimmy Schultz, what a great pair together. I mean, Jimmy, what a great thing for a young player to come in and play with a player that's a player of the league in the NCHC, and hockey fans know NCHC is a great league, and to be MVP in the league, you're probably having a great year. And Jimmy will be the first to tell you that he had a lot to do with having a great year for Jimmy. Yeah, what a great year by Ethan Prow too. He's a great leader.
How about the fact that they were both players of the year? Because Jimmy or Newell player of the year our senior year?
That's a good question. You should know that. Player of the year in our league.
I feel like it was Jimmy.
Yeah, you would think so, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
There were so many good players. The interesting thing about Robbie,
I was just going to get there, Robbie. We fast forward 10 minutes into the period, and like you said, Robbie, St. Cloud's starting to buzz in their offensive zone, but Coach Gibby, it's 0-0 after the first 10 minutes as an assistant coach in a top 10 battle. What's going through your head on the bench?
Well, just keep the pace up, shift after shift. And that's what, games in St. Cloud's Arena can do. All you need to do is wake the crowd up, and the crowd fuels itself, Robbie? I mean, it's such a momentum building, and that's all you need. I got to say something about, you're talking about the seniors here, like Cali Kosala. Their class is, the seniors on this team, Cali Kosala, Joey Bennick, and Jimmy Murray, and David Morley, and who else you had?
Prowl and Murray.
Prowl and Murray. Those guys, that was a great freshman class, and they were important for us to have, that national tournament team, and they came in and they were a big part of our team being really good. And certainly Kosala and Bennick and Russell and Murray, all those guys were important for us to have a good year. But the freshman class was really important too. And there's no way, we would have been, number one in the country for a long stretch of that season without a really good freshman class. So the freshman class, just like Cali's class of freshmen when they were freshmen, this class was really important to the success of that year's team.
So,
Don't
Coach,
forget about TJ Belisle either, man.
What's that?
You can't forget about TJ Belisle. I know he didn't get the playing time that all those other guys did, but he was a valued member of that team, man. He showed up and put in the work every day and always had a smile on his face.
A true walk-on where, we didn't recruit him well. Everyone on our team, there's no such thing as a walk-on. Everyone's recruited aggressively.
Mhm.
Some guys get more of a scholarship, but he was a guy that just came to go to school, and somehow we were short, and he showed up and did a great job.
Yeah.
And Coach, you were alluding to earlier, you talked about, I think you made the comparison of the senior class in 2015 and how important they were for your team at such a young age. But you could say the same about Robbie's class. They've got guys, Robbie Jackson, Patrick Newell, John Lazat, Jimmy Schultz, the list goes on and on. They're just important for you guys as well. Did you see that production out of them right away?
Absolutely. I mean, that's, like I said, Callie Kosla and those seniors taught Robbie and Patrick how to act, Jimmy Schultz, how to act, how to incorporate the freshmen, bring them in to the team and not do the, the old, really pick on the younger guys because they can. They're an important part of the team, and they treat them as an important part of the team. And that's what leadership does. That's what veteran leadership does. So it was a mirror image kind of thing. I can tell you one thing that I want to talk about this team too. Obviously, this Omaha team is really good, and Genzel is one of the best players to ever play in our league.
Hey, good. I'm sorry. I mean, didn't Avery Peterson ended up at Duluth, didn't he?
What's that?
Avery Peterson ended up at Duluth, didn't he? Or did he start at Duluth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he started at Omaha.
Yeah. One thing that St. Cloud had a huge advantage on Omaha was the Olympic rink, and not just because we have the advantage, but Dean Blaze hated Olympic ice, and he didn't mind. I mean, every time they played, it's like, if we didn't have to play those turkeys on that Olympic ice, we would have beat them, and it probably got inside their head a little bit. And that's the biggest thing too, Robbie. Did it really matter if you're playing on an NHL rink or Olympic rink for you? I mean, certainly we love playing at home, but it was what it was, and same thing.
It made a difference, kid.
Yeah, but you can't make a difference. Who's number 11 out there? He's a pretty good player. Wow.
Kosla?
He's a good player.
No, I think it made a difference. It's easier to go from an Olympic sheet to an NHL sheet on the road than it is the other way around. So it made less of a difference for us, but like teams coming to play us, yeah, it made a difference. I've talked to a bunch of guys.
You can't make it a huge difference. What I'm saying, it is what it is. You can't make it a huge difference.
I guess if the coach is talking about it, making a big deal out of it, yeah, like that definitely gets in the head of the players. You start dreading it in your own mind, and yeah, then you're tired before you even step on the ice.
The interesting thing about Callie this year is, like, he had a great offensive year leading our team in scoring, but he was the best defensive player in our league, bar none, Robbie? And like somehow he didn't get defensive player of the year in our tournament, and David Morley can pass that puck around, Robbie? But
he's fun.
A bunch of coaches came up.
He's so much fun to watch.
Oh, that was kind of how do you not score that? Come on, Jimmy. What a great play. What a great play.
Dude, and Murray loves those one-timers too.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Anyway, Callie was the best two-way player in our league, bar none. It wasn't even close. And I don't know who won it. No offense to the guy who won it, but Callie was 10 times better. Defensive. He was a great two-way player.
Yeah. I don't think I don't remember enough of the other rosters around the league.
Did goalie make a save there? Oh my God.
I think so. Let's see right here. This will be a good angle.
Oh, how do you not score that, Jimmy?
That
would have been 100 points.
Is that cam 4? Cam 5? That's cam 4.
Jimmy Murray ended up with
that last
the one before, the one at our bench.
That was cam 5.
Cam 5.
Jimmy Murray would have had 100 points if he would have scored that. Come on.
Did he finish with 99?
I'm pretty sure it was 99. I could be
No,
wrong.
I think Prow finished with 99.
No, I think Jimmy Murray had 99, maybe even 90. I think he had 98 or 9. Somebody can fact check. Someone that's got it.
I would love for you to be wrong on camera.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
Well, fact check me, Robbie.
You make me do it. So let me know when I score here.
You should know.
Oh, it's coming up.
I was going to say, you know it's coming. Coach, I want to ask, at the top of the graphic on that last power play, you had a top 10 power play in the nation coming into this game. You don't get one in such a big game. What's the message on your bench to maybe get the special teams unit going the next time?
Well, special teams are momentum builders, whether you score on a power play or whether you kill a penalty.
Oh, here it is.
Robbie. Here it is. Whoa, a little high, right to the student section. That was quick.
I think that was my first time going to the student section.
That's the first time. That's literally the first time, Robbie. That's the first. What's the date on this game?
This was December.
It was the first weekend of November.
It was December 4th.
Oh boy.
Was it December? I went a long time without scoring that year. Damn.
So Robbie, this is your first time going to the dog pound. You always remember your first, and this is pre-patented Selly Robbie J. Just give me your emotions after going to the dog pound the first time.
I think at that point I was still doing the chest tap and point to the sky. So yeah, that's what I was going. Ironically enough, I got that from Steph Curry, who plays a little bit. That's why I'm rocking the shirt. But man, the dog pound's energy is just electric in every way and unmatched, man. I definitely miss it. You score a goal in pro hockey, and I look to go to the dog pound, and it's just like, all right, well, now what? I guess I'll just put my stick in the air. I guess this is boring. So much rather go to the student section.
Now we've jumped ahead to the second period. You hold a 1-0 lead on Omaha. Gibby, how important is it to get that first? Now you got your second. You've got a 2-goal lead less than a minute into the second period. How important is that, against a top 10 team?
It always seems the second period, a lot of times you'd be fired up for a game and you'd play pretty good, but the second period is where I think St. Cloud could really get their teams rolling a little bit. And, it's just a momentum. Hockey's such a momentum game, and you want to kind of build momentum, kind of shift after shift, where you get a goal, where you just put all kinds of pressure on them. And a couple highlight goals there already. Wow, you can see they're not just goals. These are skilled goals that we're watching here. Great plays.
I tell you what, man. I think everybody knows how much I like scoring goals, or how much I like scoring goals still, but how much I like scoring goals at St. Cloud. I think this goes in. Yeah. I remember that.
That might cost him.
How did we do that?
Get a penalty too? Oh boy.
No, because whoever it was pushed Gensel into it, whoever that back checker was.
Gensel always played good against us too. He played great.
He played good against everyone, man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But no, I think Judd Peterson.
Oh boy, that's a penalty.
Was the guy who liked scoring goals just as much, if not more, than me. I got his smile after he scored a goal is just ear to ear, man. Yeah, no, Bennick hit him into Chuck there.
So, who was on the power play? Was that shorthanded?
That was a shorthanded goal for Omaha.
Oh boy.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
And Coach, you saw Charlie Lindgren, in that replay, he seemed to hit his head on the par. Scary moment, obviously. And, how much poise did Chuck have in the net for St. Cloud?
Sure, he had some of the best poise ever in a goalie. The bigger the game, he was cool and calm the bigger the game. And somehow, the bigger the game, the better he played. And he's just a big game goalie. But he had a great calmness about him. I remember we were playing some really good team, and it was, I think it was a whiteout or whatever. And I remember him coming to the bench, you know, saying, I guess the fans didn't get the email about the whiteout, you know, and it was right before the game, and he just kind of relaxed. He wasn't doing it to relax. He was just, you know, he was kind of a relaxed guy, but so an unbelievable competitor too. I mean, he's a great goalie for us. I remember a couple of, whoa. Oh my gosh.
Nice talk.
Is that Ethan Prowl?
That was Murray. Murray
who-
probably got the most breakaways I've ever
Who
seen.
sprung
He
him?
just had a knack to get behind the
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sprung
Prowl
him?
made the foul.
Who sprung him? Was that Prowl?
E-Dog. Yeah. Why can I not find Nick?
No, that was
help me
Jimmy.
find. Where do I find a? Huh?
I think he was offside. Let's replay that. Huh.
You still trying to fact check Gibby?
What do you got?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Wow.
Let me see
That was
what
a
I
great
can.
pass by
Oh,
Jimmy.
spare
The
me.
freshman with a great pass. The one thing right now that I can say, I mean, there's an awful lot of skill on the ice, isn't there? My gosh, the goals that are highlight goals so far, by
Yeah.
all 4 goals are skilled goals.
And now we're fast forwarded into the third period, less than 10 minutes to go. Robbie, you've got a 2-goal lead. What's going through your mind to protect this? Are you trying to get another one to secure the win? Are you trying to, you know, play as much sound defense as possible? What was the team's mentality that year?
This is the biggest thing that the coaching staff, all 4 years, I think most coaches would agree with, is that you can't change anything when you're up. Like you can't once you start playing to not lose instead of playing to win, like that's when stuff starts to go sideways. So especially with, like you said, man, we were a top 5 team in the nation 3 out of my 4 years at St. Cloud. So if you just stick to your guns, man, you're gonna win more games than not. So yeah, really just don't alter anything. Trust in your game. Trust in the way you've been playing. Like why would you change anything, man? You got to a 2-goal lead right now, so stay there. Oh, there it is.
Robbie gets his second as a freshman against a top 10 team.
Nice little open the hip to get around the net, get back to the dog pound. My momentum was taking me one way, and I had to alter course to get back to the student section.
Now I got to ask, Rob, you see a freshman, you know, you stuck with the same number all throughout college, but there's one thing about your equipment that changed. Freshman year, you're wearing a cage. Junior, senior year, for sure, you were wearing a bubble. You know, talk us through why that equipment change happened.
So this is actually a funny story. Let me just open the hip there. I wanted a bubble when I first got into St. Cloud, and I was in there my freshman year with Maya, and he's asking, oh, what a save, Chuck. Yeah. On Gensel, too, of all people.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Chuck never gave up on a goal. He could be
never
like a fish. He's still gonna...
And it trickled down to practice, too, man. Like, that guy would fight tooth and nail for every rebound.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in my freshman year, and I'm in the equipment room, and he's going, all right, you know, here are your helmets. He goes, what kind of Maya's our equipment manager, for those who don't know. He goes, all right, you know, what kind of cage do you want? We got black or white. I said, man, like, I kind of want a bubble. And he goes, no, you don't. I said, okay then. I'm sorry for even suggesting the idea. I guess I'll take a black cage. So I had, and then it was the summer, and I convinced one of the student assistants actually to toss a bubble on one of my helmets just to try it. And no, I liked it and all that, so I kept it. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's 2 different players at St. Cloud, the caged Robbie and bubble Robbie. They're really 2 different players, 2 different people. I think Gibby can attest to that. I was much different my junior and senior year than I was freshman and sophomore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm too busy watching this game. Wow. We got some players.
That's
out
what
there.
I'm saying. Like, I got a lot of things going on right now. I'm trying to prove you wrong on the internet. I'm trying to watch his game. I'm trying to hold.
I got that. So let's go back to that conversation. Robbie, who did you
did
say
you figure
ended?
it out? Did you find it?
I did. Now,
I
who
didn't
did you
say
say?
Husky Productions and UTVS. They know where to look for the stats.
I said if Jimmy Murray could have got that, he would have got 100 points. I think he had 99. That's what I thought. I could be off by
No,
one.
but you also said Ethan Prow had more than 100. I said Prow had 99, and you said no. I think he had more than 100.
So to settle this debate,
Nick, did he not say that?
To settle this
I
debate,
didn't make a comment on Ethan Prowse point total.
Yes, you did.
Jimmy Murray finished his career at St. Cloud State with 97 points.
97.
So you're wrong.
And Ethan Prow finished his career at St. Cloud with 99.
99. Okay.
So Rob's clearly happy about getting Gibby wrong on camera.
I knew it was a couple.
And obviously a little bit of a taste of a competitive nature between a player and a coach, and it's still lighthearted and you guys both cracking smiles on your face. Robbie and Gibby, just talk about that aspect of it. That's something that we don't get to see as, media or fans, that you guys have personal connections and you can be friends and compete with each other outside of a game.
Oh man, I
think it's important to recruit to actually become friends with the recruits, and not just pretend, and Robbie and I connected right away. And I get close to our recruits. Bob used to say, you have a weakness. You get too close to your players. And I think he said it in jest, but, sometimes it gets personal when your son is adopted son is benched or kind of thing. But in the long run, but when you're recruiting a guy, you're not recruiting to get, you become their friends, and you like them. You love them. You grow to love them after a while too. But certainly when you're recruiting them, that's why you're recruiting them. And I can tell you that's the strength of St. Cloud State. And Bob Motzko used to always say, we like this guy as a player, now find out what kind of kid he is, because we're not going to bring in knuckleheads and we're not going to. The one thing about the game here is you could see how important the freshmen were, not just because Robbie had a couple goals. I mean, Jimmy Schultz and playing really well, and Patrick Newell and all the freshmen playing really well.
He was all over that video, actually. He was making some plays.
Yeah.
No, I got Gibby stories for days, man. We used to play forwards versus D, and Gibby was the forward coach my first 3 years. And then my senior year, Nick Oliver came in and Gibby moved back to D. And so Ollie was a forward coach. And Gibby we would play forward versus D with the coaches passing to us in the neutral zone. So Gibby's on the defensive team. And he used to just chirp like no other, man. And I used to get on him it's like, dude, you were just with us all 3 years, and he's switching sides, and the Newsy and I'd be stretching in center ice, and Gibby would come over and go, smells like silver over here. And so I obviously do the same whenever we beat the D. I wouldn't even chirp the D. I just go and chirp Gibby.
You never really beat the D much, but yeah, it was all. You felt abandoned.
We could read you like a book. You were given turnovers left and right.
I was.
Right.
Yeah, Gibby's the only coach to actually ever slash me.
But you deserved it. I was trying to slow you down. I had to slow you down a little bit.
It's been a pleasure to watch a top 10 hockey game between St. Cloud and Omaha, but we're out of time. Thank you for joining us, everyone, for Huskies' Greatest Games. For assistant coach Mike Gibbons, former SCSU forward Robbie Jackson, I'm Nick Spiliopoulos saying have a great day and go Huskies.